thinking of our new intro.
Oh,
Welcome, everybody. We are your constant in your life, the new news, the Mancave Podcast. I am your fighting soldier, Benjamin Salt.
I'm Sam BK, who's holding back a sneeze.
We are bringing you the Mancave Podcast on Monday. It will be in your ears on Tuesday, the 16th and 17th of March, the official day of the beginning of a new world, where it was the end of the world, isn't it, Sam?
It is. It's the end of the world. Sainsbury's is the aisles are empty because Susan and Linda and Sharon have decided that they're gonna buy all the toilet roll and all the freezer food, so I can't have my dinner.
The baby boomers have taken the millennials. They've taken our houses, they've taken our affordable housing, and now they have taken all of our loo roll. Damn you. It's another blow for the millennials.
For example, though, let's say I'm genuinely ill. And it's kind of awkward for us because we literally ran out of loo roll like the day before things got really bad. So we go in, the mums are already ahead of the curve here.
Oh, yeah.
We go into Sainsbury's, there's nothing there apart from like a few packs of 6, of a brand I've never heard of. And let's say I do become really ill, and there's just nothing left for me to blow my nose on because, I don't know.
Well, we're going to have to go Kleenex or Aldi's version, Leanex. We're gonna have to go full blown. Like this is where our money is going to be tight, Sam. It's toilet rolls in bags of 24, 16, 9. None of that 4 anymore. 4 has gone. That ship has sailed.
Come on, get your tissue bags.
We're not ready till December. And so what we thought we'd do is, obviously, one of the big things that we love on the Mancave Podcast, we have our Facebook group, which I'm sure CJ will be listening, the home of sports banter, and just how much coronavirus has totally affected seemingly kind of everything. And the reason I thought this might be quite good is, obviously, we're hearing a lot of bad news. Nobody really knows what's actually going on. Boris Johnson doesn't even really know what's going on.
He's going to shake his fist and be like, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. I'm going to put my hand out on the table, and that means I'm serious.
We're going to beat Corona with our fists, punch it into submission. But I think, genuinely, this is probably one of the first times in our lifetime that there's an actual serious change economically and environmentally, probably in our lives. So it's probably good for us to chat about it. And maybe we bring some things up which might bring some happiness to people in isolation.
You're not going to get to sleep now because you've got that song in your head.
Yeah, I'll be editing just with isolation in my head.
Isolation.
Howard Moon. So we'll start off. The news, you might have seen it. You might not. You might be under a rock, and this might be your only form of communication with the outside world. So the ATP, which is the tennis professionals tour, they're pretty much taking a 6-week sabbatical, which was bizarre because it all started basically over at Indian Wells, huge tournament. I think I mentioned it last week, and the day before it was meant to start, cancelled it, and then everyone was like, "What about everything else?" And then they were just like, "We're gonna take a break for 6 weeks."
Interesting.
That kills 5 or 6 tournaments because it's pretty much almost every week. And so that means my beloved Rafa Nadal is coming into his famous clay court season where he gets most of his points, and he's not going to get any of those sweet, sweet points. But also, nobody, I don't think, has ever Well, nobody knows how things like ranking systems work or
Yeah.
what happens to these tournaments. Do they get played at a different time of year? Like, they're all specifically timed to be like where the weather's quite nice.
That's true. Exactly.
It's,
It's the way it is for a reason, isn't it?
it's very weird. Like, nobody really knows what is going on. Rugby league and rugby union have taken
Yep.
two very different stances. Sam, I think you might have a better northern accent than I. So how have the northerners taken this?
Well, the northerners, because they're hard, have decided we don't care what the weather's like. We're still going to play. And then Southern Fairies have decided that, in fact, we're just going to call it all off. So,
And for our international listeners, basically, you might see rugby as a sport where it looks very similar, but actually in the UK, and it took me quite some time to actually know some true northerners to realise there is two forms of rugby, not tag rugby, but rugby league and rugby union. Easy way to get around it is the league is proper, and that is northern, and
Yes.
that is how ad men play rugby. Imagine Sean Bean if he played rugby, it'd be union league. Oh, can't get that wrong. And union is down south. So the league somehow are getting away with carrying on playing.
The whole thing's a mess. It's just different with. I mean, what we're talking about today is obviously one of our one of our many topics that we cover, which is sports and how it's now been impacted in the current world. So, what's interesting I've found is how different sports have reacted. Because for me, on the outside looking in, let's look at tennis, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure you'll tell me, Ben. But I mean, definitely with football, the crowd is a massive influence on the outcome of the game. Correct. Now, and that's one of the reasons. I mean, they're always like, oh, we can't play it without the fans because, but for me, I could be completely wrong, but thinking about something like tennis or Formula One, I would think if the fans aren't there, they can still crack on and get on with it. Like, maybe tennis.
From a results-based perspective, yes. But
I don't know. I think maybe tennis is more. The fans are more important to that than maybe Formula One, but I don't know because I don't follow either. So maybe
do you know the big driving force in all of sport is fans equal money. So I was speaking to a friend, Josh, at work. He's a big F1 fan. We were discussing why they didn't really want to actually cancel said Formula One event and why it wasn't either the FIA, it wasn't Formula One, or the Australian government. They all kind of was like, we're just going to wait, and that's why it took so long. It roughly costs $1 billion to run a Formula One race.
Wow, I did not know that. Did you know that, listeners? I didn't know that.
So to close off this, especially ones like Melbourne and street races like Monaco, because you've got to close a city down, because Melbourne is actually a street circuit. You've got all the construction, you've got all the stewards, you've got all the cost of the logistics of sending and shipping, as well as putting on the TV broadcasting and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And that is why tickets to go and see your favourite Formula One stars at Silverstone cost a minimum of £175.
Are you serious? That's how much it costs?
Tickets, yeah. And that is why it is such an exclusive sport, is it is so expensive.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't follow Formula One at all. That sounds absolutely ridiculous. They zoom past you in a car.
At great speed and great skill. But yeah,
wow, I'm speechless.
And that's why, and that's why they didn't really want to postpone it or cancel it, and that's why they've said the word postpone, because they would obviously love to get it in. And that is why it's having such a huge impact on local economies, because somewhere like the Australian Open, they might get loads of people from different parts of Australia and all come to Melbourne, and I think this is what I think it started with all these announcements was actually this is going to have a huge, because what is people's release? It's a lot of people. It's sport. Tennis, again, I think so. Like Wimbledon is year on year out the most visited sporting event of the whole year.
Really?
It's like 500,000 people go to see Wimbledon every year.
That's really that many?
Yeah, and for a big proportion of the income for tennis events is ticket sales. You don't have any fans, you don't have any tickets sold. What's the point in putting it on? Because then you've got to pay all the players these huge fees, especially Nadal's, and I think like Djokovic has earned like $150 million in prize money alone.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is, it's players that are on the verge of the top 100, and they actually earn a genuine, actual living from touring.
Yeah.
No tour, no money, no income. It's
kind of like, I mean, not to take it away from the sports view that we're looking at, but like, for example, self-employed people is just getting absolutely destroyed here because they need their staff in to be able to work. And if there's no customers coming in, they can't pay the staff, even if the staff wants to go on holiday and take it as holiday. It's just, it's crazy. I don't know.
And I was at a gig this weekend, not a musical gig, but a comedy gig. It's about 100 people in the crowd, so they were kind of like, but they were absolutely fine. We were checking the whole day, and it kind of hit me at that stage as well. I was like, for these guys, touring will be their income.
Well, I've seen so many musicians cancel gigs. Like literally every day that's compact. I just bought tickets for my girlfriend, me to take my girlfriend to see McFly at the end of April. No, it's not going to happen.
We've booked One Republic in October, and Liam, one of my really close friends, he was like, "What's going to happen with that?" It's like, it's in October, and we genuinely also don't know.
Yeah,
and I think it's starting to become quite real. And the thing is, I know it sounds really stupid, but what happens if we all stop having to work? We're going to have to make a living out of the Mancave Podcast, Sam. So, listeners, if you could share one great story out of the coronavirus, it could be the Mancave Podcast. Exactly. Let's get it viral. Let's get me and you earning a steady little income, sharing great news stories to all of our friends and family and the whole world, and means we can all...
We put liquid paper on a bee today.
Yes.
It died.
It died. Investors? Possibly you. Yeah. So it's all got a little bit crazy. It's all, but
come on, let's keep the mood up.
Bring some lightheartedness to the Mancave Podcast, which is, this is a season.
I knew you were going to do this.
This is the season.
I was waiting for this.
The Liverpool Football Club were quite easily possibly the best team in the entire of Europe.
By a massive margin.
And if it's in Europe, it possibly means the world, if the Club World Cup means anything to anybody. And this is the season that a Chinese bat stopped potentially. There's a 75% chance that Liverpool might not win the league.
That's a ridiculous stat. 75%.
They're like...
Give over.
2, maybe even 1 game away from winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
And nobody has a clue.
Everyone's look. You can all laugh.
Thoughts.
And everyone's making these great analogies of like, well, if I was 20 points behind in a snooker match and they said, "Oh no, we're going to give it to that guy," then I would feel pretty miffed by it because I could still win. No, it's football. It's not snooker. Sorry, Paul Merson. Shut up. Right, Ben.
Sam.
This might not be a perfect analogy because again, I have no knowledge of F1. But if Lewis Hamilton was ahead by, I don't know if 20 points is the same in football.
Let's say 75.
75, right? Okay, 75. Thank you. And he had, 10 races left. Again, don't know how the maths works out on that and how much you can win in each race. But just, you get what I'm trying to say. How would you feel? Like, let's just...
I think what is really difficult is, when you look through the history records of like football and even things like tennis records and whatever it is, and there's this like weird gap between 1938 and 1945, 1946.
There is a weird gap.
There's just this weird gap of just like, oh yeah, the world had to kind of like stop.
That's a very good point.
And it's like there's a weird void in history records, and I think it's obviously our parents weren't even alive during the war, but for me it brings such a permanence to that gap as like a permanent reminder of what happened.
It's true,
and I feel in a weird way that, and I hope I'm over exaggerating. I hope I'm going over the top. But can you imagine that in 5, 10, 100 years' time, when we look back at the history records and it says Premier League champions 18-19, and then the next year is 21-22?
I know, it's true. It's true.
I know it sounds really stupid, but it's already happened with events postponing. Like, who won?
I get what you're saying.
The 2020 Australian Open. Well, like Grand Prix. Well, nobody knows because it never happened. Like, if I do feel as though what is difficult, and it's not even for Liverpool winning the league, because we all joked and we said, how does it feel to win the league in January? Liverpool have won the league.
Yeah, it's not like they're 3 points ahead. If they were 3 points ahead, then it would be harsh, but we would have to accept it as a fan base. But it's not that we're 3 points ahead, it's that we're 20 points ahead, and it could be won in the next game kind of thing. So,
but the biggest problem, and it comes from the top, it's actually at the bottom.
I know.
Because if you say, right, league is done, Liverpool have won it, well, that means the bottom 3 teams, does that mean they're relegated or are they paused? Does it mean that Leeds go up to the Premier League for next year? True. And it then rings through the entire... And then you also have to consider what other countries are doing, because it goes into the Champions League for next year. Yeah. Because it's, well, if the Premier League say, well, these were our top 4 at this time, does that mean that the French League have to go, well, these were our top 4 at this time? And that, like, it's crazy, the possibilities that it could be that we never play sport ever again in our lives, and this could genuinely be the end of the world, which I don't think it is, because it is influenza, so we'll be fine, we'll get over this. But, like, when you think of the ramifications, it's pretty huge.
I know, it's definitely, we're going to talk about this, in 2 years' time and be like, God, do you remember that flu thing?
Yeah.
This is a big moment. This is like where were you when MJ died? Where were you when, the Twin Towers happened? Like, coronavirus, it's going to be a thing.
The weird thing is, I think for a lot of people, and we were saying it at work today, a lot of people kind of would like not taking the mick, because that's the wrong way to look at it, but I don't think anybody actually took it seriously, because it was just in China. It's over there. It's like, oh, this is fine. It's like Ebola was very much an African-based disease, an issue. And I was like, oh, it's over in China. They'll sort it out. Oh, this is a bit crap because, we buy loads of stuff in China. And then they were like, oh, well, we're gonna stop bringing like hand sanitizer to you. And it's like, oh dear. But it quite quickly went to Italy. And I think...
Yeah, it massively went to Italy. One thing that was on Twitter maybe an hour ago someone tweeted, because it was one of my Liverpool fan pages on Twitter, and because everyone's talking about it, it said it was completely unfootball related, and they went, random tweet, but did anybody think they actually had coronavirus in like the end of last year? And then a load of people replied and were like, actually, yeah, I had all the symptoms like in December, January kind of thing.
My parents did.
So whether it's actually been around a bit longer than we thought, that's up for argument as well.
Well, I saw my parents a couple of times, birthday, and we were having a drink, and they were saying they were ill for about 4 or 5 weeks. With flu.
Yeah.
And you would put it down to being flu because it's obviously very similar symptoms. But they were like, a lot of the things we had were very similar. I was like, but do you know anyone from Wuhan? And they were like, well, no. I was like, well, I don't think it might have been coronavirus then. But, if you don't know what something is, why would you ever get tested for it?
I'm sure we've brought it up before, but like how the Simpsons predict everything, and there was that cartoon of where the Chinese sneeze in a package and then it gets shipped to Springfield. Like, they're predicting it all.
The Simpsons have literally predicted.
We've talked about it before, and this is another thing that's been predicted. Just stop writing The Simpsons.
I think that's it. But if The Simpsons are over, that could be the end of humanity as we know it.
I know, exactly.
It's over then.
So
Sam, genuine thoughts as a genuine football person, as a human being. I'm a Man United fan. I'm very impartial this because it's frustrating because this is the first time in like 5 years that we've actually started to play some decent football because of Bruno Fernandes. Not as a Liverpool fan, but as a football fan, a sporting fan. How do you think if we cannot play football, professional football, for the rest of the season, what do you think happens? I
think they might have a weird way of working it out. They might be like, well, based on the average of, your performance in the away game and then the home game coming up, I don't know, they might just do some weird shit. But, I mean, the problem is, it's not like they can do like some behind closed doors playoffs, because there's players that are now ill. And that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping, well, why don't we just do a playoffs for the top 4 and a playoffs for relegation in every league? Done. Give Liverpool the title. Obviously, in different leagues where the gap is smaller, it would be maybe the top 2 in a playoff. I don't know. The biggest issue is, as a fan, is it's Liverpool winning the league. I don't want to see them do it via, oh, you've won the league, no celebration, but I'll take it.
Like a default win.
I'd take it. I wouldn't say no. 100% I wouldn't say no. Because then at least we've always got that. It's an asterisk, but whatever. Unbiasedly, I still think that you should just give them the title because they are that far ahead, and all the rest, you can put it into a supercomputer and see if they're going to get 6 or 3 points or whatever they need in the next 10 games, and I'm pretty sure they would get it. I know they got, pummeled by Watford, but
I know that one child, maybe that kid is the super virus. So I think we have to bring it up, right? I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, I can't even remember if I put it into the group or if CJ or you put it into the group. But I was that is actually genuinely quite hilarious. It was like, please, can you not win your next game, as it's really upsetting for everybody. Like, and I love how he actually replied. And then since then, you've had one win, haven't you?
Yeah.
Or have you not? Like,
we lost.
Win.
We
lost to Watford, lost to Atletico.
And lost to the Chelsea one doesn't count, but it was a FA Cup thing.
Like, I find that one of those really weird
power shift,
like really weird stories within sports and coincidences that you've basically not lost a game all year,
or it's basically just because Jordan Henderson was injured for 3 weeks.
Which is bizarre that one man that Because I think, wasn't he up for like winning PFA Player of the Year or something? Or
Yeah, he was the bookies' favourite before he got injured.
And actually, to be fair, now you've taken him out of your side.
We've lost 3 times.
He actually might be the glue that is sticking that Liverpool team together, which is weird. One of the stories that did make me laugh before the whole break and everything having to be postponed was I saw a story and it was like I think after Man United beat them and it was like do Man City have to rebuild? And I was like, wait. The team that literally, over the past 2 seasons, have had record-breaking seasons, they're needing to rebuild. I was like...
It's honestly, it's the culture we live in, and it's so annoying. The second one thing goes wrong, there's a whole Sky Sports feature about it.
Can you imagine... Should Pep finish?
It's like, can you imagine, as a manager... You would just not watch any of it. You wouldn't listen to TalkSport. You wouldn't listen to Sky Sports. You can tell why they actually don't like being interviewed because they're just trying to mess with their head, etc. It's just like, no, they shouldn't get rid of Pep. Just, ugh.
I just find it hilarious that the way that they jump at, oh well, Manchester City, they've not had the greatest of seasons. It's like, name your team that, apart from maybe Juventus, which clearly play in a league that is way skewed towards them, they've had the most money, the best players, the most supported club in Italy. Unless you are Juventus and like Paris Saint-Germain, who have all the oil money, within the Premier League, there has not been a team that has consistently just team. It's, Man United are the only team to win 3 leagues in a row.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it. That was, unprecedented, clearly.
And to be fair, I can't believe I'm saying this, but they didn't do it without breaking financial fair play. But they had Fergie time, but that's another story. Sorry.
Another story. We can go back in time.
We could be at this all day.
We have no sport to currently talk about.
We're talking about the past.
We're already talking about the past, which actually this podcast was set up for. So maybe it's a perfect podcast for
maybe it's all our fault.
We started this the moment we got 100 subscribers
through nostalgia.
And I was going to bring something up then, and I've now completely forgot.
Oh, you've blanked.
I've absolutely blanked. What a blanker. What an absolute blanker.
What a blanker.
That was it. So, Sam, serious consideration here. I have Sky Sports. Currently, at the moment, with no golf, no tennis, no football, no Formula 1. I think I need to pause my Sky Sports subscription.
Will they let you?
I'm just going to be like, mate, I'm gonna speak to those team up in Newcastle because they're usually up in Newcastle, and they'll be like, "Why, aye, man? What's up, man?" And I'll be like, You know what's up, coronavirus, my friend.
You know what's up, Sky Sports.
I don't need to see highlights of the 1999 Masters. Let's be real. I'm bored of highlights. I saw a great news article, and it was these guys that have flown out to Malaga for a golfing weekend.
Okay.
They weren't allowed to play golf because of the Spanish ban on outside activities. And they were just inside the clubhouse watching highlights of golf because there's not even any real golf going on. I was like, the weird thing is, right, this is what I don't get currently. We have been told you cannot go outside. Don't touch each other. Don't go to these big events. Don't go outside to sporting events.
Yeah.
Don't go outside and play golf. Don't do anything. But what do people then have to do? Stay inside next to people confined for hours.
Mind blown.
I saw it in the news. Again, runners, sport. You like how we're keeping this very topical.
Yeah.
Drones going over Retiro Park, shouting at people in Spanish to go back to their homes.
That's so funny.
They're literally running away from it. You can't catch coronavirus if you're outside running away from people. That's literally the perfect thing to do. If anything, we should be told to go outside and have a jog. That will cure everything.
Yeah.
But anyway. I think Sam's coming down with some...
I'm just picturing a load of Spanish people running away from a drone. Arriba, arriba.
Vamos, vamos.
Vamos.
I saw that and I was like, surely they're doing the right thing. It's like, they're not going to catch it out there, are they? But anyway, listeners, we'll keep this one short and sweet. We you've heard enough about coronavirus. We thought we'd add some news topic and some hilarity to your days. But genuinely, as mentioned, share the pod because we're probably going to be all stuck at home fairly soon, and you're going to need people to...
You are warm voices on the end of the phone.
You're not going to have any radio DJs because they're not going to be allowed to go to work. And Johnny Vaughan on Radio X is very boring in the afternoon, so you might as well listen to the Mancave Podcast. Yeah. Sam?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Remember to wash your hands on a very practical, safe level, 20 seconds or more.
Does our theme tune play us out, or does it?
It can do now.
It can do, right, because I've written some lyrics for it. Okay.
Ooh.
So, bear with me. So, as you're all aware, we have an amazing theme song. It's as provided by, is it Chef Lowry, right?
No, that one is just from no copyright on YouTube.
Oh.
But Chef Larry does do a lot of our music.
Well, anyway, moving on. So, I'm a songwriter, right? So, please put my voice to this. It will be hilarious. So, because it's like, do, right? Yeah, you know the tune, right? Yeah. So, right, bear with me. Let me compose myself. Welcome to the Man Cave. It is our show about tech and movies, sport, and who knows? We are on YouTube. There's lots to see. Ben, Sam, Guy, and Smig, and even CJ. Jazz hands. And if you play that against the tune, it'll sound amazing.
I'll have to speed you up.
Yeah. So yeah, I got bored and I wrote that, but it actually fits. It fits the music. So yeah.
You do realise the moment you send me that MP3, I'm totally, absolutely nailing that against the intro.
It's actually really catchy, the tune, though. I don't even like that kind of music, but I like it now. I'm just like, welcome to the Man Cave. It is our show. Yeah.
What we'll do, listeners, if you're still with us, please also send in your versions of the Man Cave intro, and we'll have a Man Cave intro off of Sam the Man, the BK. Oh God, this could be brilliant.
This could be brilliant. We need entries.
What we're gonna do? What we're gonna do right now, live on the podcast.
Yeah.
This has got our Instagram video, right? Below in the comments, send us via your DMs or stories your Man Cave intro. We will get 2 of these, me and you. Because everybody likes something, but nobody interacts because everybody's lame. Apart from our brilliant fans, because we love the fans. It's all about the fans. Love you, fans. Yeah, we'll stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, cool.
We'll try to, actually, to be fair, we'll be self-quarantined. So
even if we are in isolation, we're still going to do the pod, so...
We had this set up. We knew this was going to happen. We're ready. We're ready to pod.
We've been doing the pod for 7 days now.
We've been podding 7 days. We should do a daily diary, but through a daily pod. So, Sam, what did you do today? I stared at my computer and I did some emails. I did the same thing, mate. I did the same thing. I've been doing it for 34 days and I got 2 loo rolls left. Terrific. Well, everyone, on that absolute cataclysmic bombshell, thank you for your time. and we'll all see you soon. Ciao bella.
Bye bye.